so good. Here's salt and pepper.
Oh, holy shit, it is good. Perfect.
These make me so happy. Here,
I'll be your garbage.
Oh, okay, thanks. Hey guys, we are back with an all-new Hot Guys in the Kitchen for HBFIT TV, and we are with Geoff, who is the founder of Tasting Table. We're really excited to have you.
It's great to be here. I'm flattered.
So you are coming up on your 10-year anniversary of Tasting Table.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Can you tell us like a little bit, before we jump into the recipe, can you tell us a little bit about why you started Tasting Table and like maybe like a highlight that has happened over the last 10 years, like as you reflect?
There's been a lot of highlights. I was actually a banker at a Swiss investment bank for 7 or 8 years before this.
Really?
And I was kind of thinking about something entrepreneurial to do, and every time you'd go out to a restaurant, you would kind of see young people on your left and right talking about like East Coast oysters versus West Coast, or which chef went to where, and it just became clear that this thing about being a foodie that used to just be about, you know, recipe swapping and who was going to whose house for dinner was actually becoming a way that people were socializing. So Bob Pittman, my business partner and backer at the time, owned Daily Candy, if you remember that.
Yes.
And he said, why don't we do Daily Candy for foodies, to my co-founder, John McDonald, and it all just kind of came together nicely and we launched.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's been quite a ride or a journey or whatever cliche you want to use.
Okay, so tell me, we're gonna make 2 different types of dips today. Tell us a little bit about the recipes.
So I chose these because you wanted to do something dairy-free. And I personally am at a point in my life where I'm not doing as much regular cooking myself. Even though I went to culinary school before we started Tasting Table, I tend to have people kind of coming and going for cocktails and drinks. You never know who's coming over. So it's always good to have a couple of homemade dips on hand, which can store for a few days.
Cool.
And in this case, both of them are super simple. One is what we call a very green avocado tahini dip, where all we have to really do is wilt a little bit of greens, and then it gets pureed in the blender with a whole bunch of other wonderful things, including avocado.
Okay.
And the second one is a charred tomato salsa that Tasting Table designed for Cinco de Mayo last year, where we're literally just going to char a whole bunch of tomatoes and garlic and jalapenos, and then just blend all of that. So these are as simple as it gets.
Okay, cool. Well, put me to work. What can I do? Should I?
Why don't we do a little chopping, huh?
Okay.
I have one question for you first. How hot do you like it? Because we can control, with a recipe like this, how much we use in terms of jalapeno.
I mean, I like a spice, but I think these are, I would normally use like 1 jalapeno.
Let's use one of them, that's perfect.
Okay, this one's smaller, so maybe we'll go with this one. And do I just cut this off on the top?
That's right, watch those fingers.
And then, do you want me to cut it down the middle to?
That's right. And the trick here is going to be, since we're charring these, we're going to want to get black on them. We don't need everything cut small because that's going to encourage it to cook. So I would do it just like this.
Okay, so you leave the seeds and the insides in.
That's right. And those seeds are going to be hot, so
okay.
That'll be good for us.
Yeah.
Same thing with the tomatoes. We'll keep it nice and simple. Why don't we just do the tomatoes in halves as well? If we do more than that, then we're going to let too much juice out.
That's right. What I was thinking. Okay, so can you also tell us the definition of charring?
Sure. I mean, it literally just means to blacken the outside or the surface of whatever your food product is. So I guess that's just adding carbon to the outside of the tomatoes. But the idea is not to cook the inside in this case because we still want it to have a kind of fresh, vibrant taste.
Okay. And so when you are charring, you put it. Do you always have to char on a cast iron?
Yes. Well, I mean, there's lots of ways to char. Technically, you could char on a grill if you think about it. But in this case, if you're indoors, I want a really hot cast iron pan. You can use a Dutch oven in a pinch, but of course, then you're going to encourage the steam that's coming off to return back down.
Right.
So a skillet's the best. We're going to make it as hot as we can. We're going to pump the heat on it, no oil, no nothing, for probably a good 2-3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And then in batches, we're going to go ahead with the different vegetable types, starting with the tomatoes, which probably take about 5 minutes, I'd say.
Okay.
And then we'll do the peppers with the garlic, and
okay.
Definitely missing something.
Onion?
The onion, yes, is also in this one.
Okay,
you're really good.
And the onion, do we char the onion as well?
We're charring everything.
Okay, great. The only thing I've ever charred before, and I actually didn't even char it. We did an episode, and Nick from the egg shop actually charred some broccoli, and it was I was actually so surprised with the flavor.
Can really change the whole profile of the
It
thing.
was crazy, and it still felt like it was also a bit on the raw side, so you were still getting those nutrients, but it was also like had an amazing flavor.
You're a good PR person for charred food versus overcooked, right?
Totally.
But it also adds that kind of nuance of flavor because it's not, if you were just to puree this, you'd have, you know, kind of fresh salsa type taste. This gives it that kind of like, what's
like
that?
What, like, it's almost like a smoky taste?
It's definitely smoky. And it's also just got that kind of what's going on in here elements to it.
Right. And I'm guessing you don't want me to like cut up the garlic pretty small,
Not
right?
at all. Don't cut it at all. I would just
Okay.
take off the kind
The
of
ends?
inedible part.
Okay.
Again, because we're going to puree the heck out of this with,
Right.
You've got a nice strong Vitamix here. So all of this is going to come down once we're done.
Do you love a Vitamix?
I love a Vitamix.
Me too. I don't think I could live without it. Okay, so we are charring it up in here. It's okay if it gets smoky. I've got a fan.
Super.
So we're about to make some charred salsa.
And I want to leave a little bit of room between the items because if the water starts coming off of it, then it, you know, charring is more difficult.
So when you char, do you turn them around also? Or you just
Yeah,
keep-
we're going to try to char
you
them all
do?
around. I don't want it to get too wet first, so I'm like doing this side first, right?
Right.
And then that will make it a little bit wetter.
If you did this on the grill, would you also put it skin side down first?
I would, yes.
Okay.
But there you really, again, you have to keep watching. And then the trick is always going to be how to like get the different parts of the tomato.
The tomato,
right?
right. Yeah, so I've always like grown up cooking, not necessarily because my parents cooked, but because I either, like my grandfather always had a cook in the house, and I would always just go over there and I'd get in the kitchen and just be with like my grandpa's chef, or like I've also dated a lot of guys whose parents were chefs.
It's the best way to like
Yeah,
you learn it organically.
Totally.
My mom got a job when I was, I think, in 4th grade, and I started cooking all of our family dinners. So she would like leave me instructions or call me and tell me what to do.
Oh wow.
And then that just kind of led to, you know, finding weird cookbooks in her cabinet and
Wait,
experimenting
I love
further.
that.
Yeah. Got
That's
a lot
so
of
cute. I
funny
want to put my
photos.
kids to work and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be late for dinner. Can you start dinner?" That's so fun. I mean, my husband's literally like, "I can't wait till we have kids and they do all the chores," and I was like, "Okay."
You just gotta make a game out of it. All my friends have boards with stars on them that make it somehow fun for the kid, right?
Right.
And you can see this is you're starting to
Oh,
get
wow.
that black, right? And the nice thing is that the peppers actually blister, which is also
Right.
really beautiful.
This is such an easy way of like creating something with a really wonderful flavor profile. Like I've never even thought to char. It's like not in my
Repertoire.
yeah.
And I like things where you can then get creative because, for example, you could use tomatillos instead of tomatoes if you wanted to, and it could be green.
Right.
Or if you don't like spice at all, you just omit the pepper entirely. This is one of those things where like you can just
you can even char pineapple
100%.
and add it, or like
Nice
a pepper,
sweet profile,
different-
sure.
Yeah, or even like a different type of pepper.
These are probably going to start to stick a little bit, so
Okay.
I'm going to be a little careful with them. I'm wiggling them a little bit so that they don't overstick, right? Because you see
Yeah.
that it's creating a little bit of a skin down there, and I just want to make
Yeah.
sure I'm still going to get some color off of it. Almost there.
What are some of your favorite restaurants right now in the city?
Oh, I still go to Charlie Bird all the time.
Yeah. Have you been to the new place from them?
I haven't yet. Oh, God, I'm having a brain freeze.
The record.
What's the first word?
No, it's record
Something with a C. Cinema Records. Crowded
Landmark Records
No,
or something.
Shit. I haven't been yet, but I hear it's amazing.
I'm supposed to go for a birthday party on the 2nd, which I'm excited about.
And you know what? I just changed my mind. Let's cut this one more time in half. Oh, because now I'm getting a burnt smell.
Like this?
Yep. Perfect. Turn this guy down a little bit. I don't want too much of a burnt smell on that. Go ahead, you can throw it right in.
Should I do this too? Legacy Records.
Legacy
Should I
Records,
do this?
yeah. Oh, I said C. That's great. Yep.
Okay. Right, Legacy. C.
There we go.
There you go.
You're very generous with your interpretation.
Well,
I was like, oh, I'm just wrong.
I'm dyslexic, so I always am like I'm always doing like sounds like
So
or like.
I'm dyslexic too, and I just learned an amazing trick a year ago that changed my life. Can I tell you what it is?
Yes.
I listened to the audiobook on Audible fast, like 2.5 speed, while also reading it. So listening to it pushes your eye forward over the words.
Whoa.
And reading it makes sure that your mind doesn't wander. And
Whoa.
I now read, again, like I used to, in the same quantity of books. It's a game changer, and I figured it out accidentally.
Whoa, that's amazing, because I literally, because it's so difficult for me to like read
Time
and have
consuming,
my,
right?
and just like have my brain like focused on something like that for so long.
Give it a
I
try.
literally have not read a book in like 5 years.
I think we're just about there. This is probably about as far as we're gonna go
Okay.
in terms of getting color.
And then do we even add oil to this?
You know what? Let's look at the recipe. I don't remember.
Okay.
Lime juice, agave, I guess just the lime juice.
Yeah, lime juice. Okay.
And if we don't like it, we'll add the oil.
Okay. I mean, I would assume that you don't really even need oil because of the juice of the tomatoes.
Right. I mean, it's pretty thin, the final
Yeah.
product. I think that's probably charred enough for our purposes. Let's see. Because onion can be one of those things that overpowers really quickly
Right.
because it is only charred and not cooked. Okay.
Okay, so this smells unreal, and there's no oil in here or anything. It's just like fresh veggies, charred. Okay, so I'm gonna put some lime in here.
Let's do it. According to the recipe, 2 tablespoons, so I'm gonna guess that's gonna be that whole lime.
Okay.
And again, the beauty of this is it's whatever we want it to be, and we can modify as we go. So for example, we've decided we're gonna hold back part of the onion since the white onion was so large, and 1/2 of the jalapeno,
Because we think it's gonna be super spicy.
and we'll blend it and we'll see where we are.
Okay, and then for the cilantro, do you blend it or you kind of use it as a garnish?
I would do both. I'd hold a little bit back so that we can sprinkle it on top and make it look nice, but I think also after we pulse a few times, since we don't want it to get over blended, we can throw it in toward the end since it's a fast.
Okay, cool. I love cilantro. It's one of like my favorite herbs.
I'm gonna be really honest with you and say it's not one of my favorites.
Oh, really?
Like when it's sprinkled on tacos for whatever reason, it just doesn't do it for me, but I do like it in dishes.
Oh my goodness, interesting. Okay, so you're not one of the people who like has the gene that like hates cilantro, but you are particular about where you like your cilantro. Okay, cool. So it seems like this is all ready to go then.
It is.
This one is the one for this one.
Great. Let's see what happens.
Okay, I'm so excited about this. Gotta get the boomerang.
And in terms of texture, again, this is one of those things where we can kind of decide what we want it to be. So I'm going to start a little bit slower. I think we should add a little cilantro.
Okay.
And I think we should probably just use leaves, right? So that we don't have to worry about getting the stem totally blended in.
Okay.
And the recipe calls for 1/4 cup roughly chopped. You don't have to chop it. I think just as long as the stems are off.
The stems are off. It's been washed.
Smell that.
Should I not? Oh my gosh. Should I not even chop it?
Why don't we take, I don't think you have to because I kind of want to see a little bit of that green in there. So why don't we just put half in. I'll keep pulsing this, and why don't you roughly chop this for
okay.
garnish.
Okay, perfect. Oh my God, this smells so incredible.
Especially with your favorite cilantro. I'm getting a whiff of that there too.
I literally love cilantro so much. And I just found out it's also supposed to be really good for detoxing heavy metals out of your body.
Perfect. It's an unexpected bonus.
Exactly.
Let's see where we are. And got to remember, we've got that extra jalapeno out if we want to
Oh, right.
go further.
Taste test?
Sure. After you. You know what I just realized?
What?
Go ahead, do the taste test. We have to salt and pepper as well.
Oh my God.
Too spicy?
It's so good.
Oh, good.
So good. Here's salt and pepper.
Oh, holy shit, it is good. Who knew? Let's definitely do black pepper.
Wait, I wonder if this is mixed pepper.
I don't think it matters.
Okay. You said black, so
I'm
I just
sorry.
wanted to make sure.
I appreciate your specificity, but again, this is a very forgiving recipe.
Yeah. Wait, this is really, should I put a little more?
Sure, you're in charge.
This is really, really good.
And when we put just a dash of salt, because obviously we're serving this with very salted chips, perfect. I'm not getting any heat. Are you getting any heat?
Should we add the other?
Let's do it.
Okay.
And
I can't believe how easy this is. This is so much easier than trying to make pico de gallo. Like, pico de gallo takes like an hour because you're like chopping. Like, it's crazy.
Well, you've got your replacement now.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
And again, I'm pulsing because I don't want a puree, right? And the fact that we're doing another round is going to get me closer to that puree consistency.
Right.
So let's see what we got now. After you, boss. Oh, I'm making a mess.
These chips are great, by the way.
Perfect, thank you.
These chips have like chia seeds in them and like, ooh, whoa. Mmm. It's delicious.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think if we added raw jalapeno that it would do anything?
You know, I said this is for experimentation. It's your house. I say you're
try?
in charge. Perfect. Let's do it.
I mean, we like our things spicy over here, so it's probably for the best that we started out on the less spicy side and then are just adding.
Hannah's being really generous. We should have just gone for it the whole time, but she's being nice to me.
To be honest, I think the most fun part about cooking is really understanding your own taste and not just following a recipe
and figuring it out as you go.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. There you go.
More heat.
It's great. That tastes banging.
Also then garnish a little bit with your roughly chopped cilantro there.
This would be so good with like some margaritas.
I think we got it.
So Geoff, tell us a little bit about this dip we're gonna make.
This is a dip that, I mean, technically the name is Very Green Avocado Tahini Dip. But it's my favorite kind of dip because it is very forgiving if you want to modify it.
Cool.
So it's really quick in that we only have to wilt some greens, and then along with those, into the blender goes avocado, lemon juice, cumin, tahini. We're gonna garnish with parsley, you blend it all up and you're done. So it's as fast as it can possibly be.
Sounds amazing. Okay, so the avo's cut. Should we wilt these greens?
Let's do it.
Okay.
And since we didn't have to wash these off, we're going to wilt them and just add a kind of splash, maybe a couple tablespoons of water. If I had just washed them, then they'd have some water on them after I drain them, and that would be enough.
Okay, got it. Well, I just got these like super cute small ones. So
Perfect
I'll
for
add
cocktails and for water.
Exactly. So I'll add some water in here.
Great. I'll get our stove going.
Okay. These are really good if you're like doing something with like lemon juice or cocktails and or sauces. Like it's just like how cute is that?
I'm going to throw that in first.
Okay.
And our greens. Okay.
I also love that basically the two recipes that we've done don't require any oil.
I can hear the water's gone and I don't want any of
To
that color.
burn.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is also, you know what? If somebody did this to my pan, I'd yell, so I'm just going to switch. Yep.
There's actually like a lot of flavor there.
There is.
Wow, okay.
But you also notice that that bitterness does hit you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I will chop the parsley. Should I just grab like a nice little bundle?
I think that's great.
Okay.
Just make sure there's no large stems in it.
Okay, so tell us a little bit. You are coming up on the 10th anniversary of Tasting Table.
Hard to imagine.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's insane.
It's been a lot of fun.
So tell us like some of like, I don't know, career highlights.
Highlights. A lot of different folks have worked for the company over the years, and you know it's great to make good friendships after you get out of college, but it's hard to make really great adult friendships, and some of my closest friends
I
are
agree.
folks that I've worked with over the years.
Oh, that's cool.
Spend so much time together. There's an element of making something and building a company together, and you know when friendships arise out of that, they tend to be really long lasting. So I'd say that's been a highlight.
That's amazing. Okay, a little bit more finely than this.
I think that's great since we're going to be blending all of this,
Okay.
but we probably have a little bit too much, so we can reserve some for garnish if we want it. If you want to grab a spoon, we can
Yes.
scoop the avocado in. I need a 1/3 cup of tahini. I'm going to do our lemon here. And by the way, I should mention that this recipe was adapted many years ago from a book called Wild About Greens.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Sounds like a pretty nice.
Tasting Table does a lot of, we're always watching out what the new books are, what the hot new restaurants are.
Yeah.
And we do, with permission, lots of republishing of recipes so that our members and the folks who get our newsletter can kind of see what's going on in the world of food and drink. And for the lemon juice, they want the juice of the entire lemon. Again, since we're being a little loose today and my fingers are immaculately clean, as Julia Child would say, I'm just going to squeeze this over my fingers to get the seeds out.
I actually had a raw sesame cake once.
I've never had a raw one, but that's amazing.
It was incredible. Like one of the best things I've ever had.
I wouldn't have thought of it unless you said it, but I had a tahini ice cream once that was mind-bending.
Oh, really? Whoa. Where'd you have that?
I knew you were going to ask that, and I don't remember. But
No.
Again, another follow-up item that I will be sending you and adding to the comments on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe we'll be making that on our next episode with you.
Perfect.
Okay.
So we're going to go for a third.
Great.
Get that guy in there. I will get a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. This is one of my favorite spices, cumin and coriander.
I love cumin too. It's so good also I have been making a lot of sweet potatoes recently, and I feel like it's such a good to bake your sweet potatoes.
Yep.
Or to roast them. Oh my God, you're so cute.
We're not going to throw this on the stove for this recipe, but cumin is also one of those spices that you can just hit with some heat on the stove in a really dry pan for a minute or two.
Oh, yeah?
And it opens up the kind of floral fragrance of the spice a lot.
Oh, wow. And then, what would you then, toss the spice on top of something, or do you add something to the pan?
No, use it, either way, use it however you want. But for example, if you're going to put cumin or coriander on sweet potatoes, it's game-changing.
Okay, so if you do that first and then add it to the sweet potatoes.
That's right.
Got it, okay.
Really makes it taste a lot different.
I'm gonna try that.
I like how heavy-handed you are with the
I
pepper.
have always been. I'm a huge pepper fan.
I am not judging, I'm appreciating.
Good, or a little more?
A little bit more, I think that's great.
Okay.
Okay, so we will just...
It looks like pretty creamy though.
I think we could probably stop here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here, you'd be the judge.
Okay, I'm also gonna get this out.
That's amazing. I hope you caught that. And your composure.
I'm really good with my reflexes, I'm not gonna lie. Wow, it's amazing.
You like?
So good.
All right, super.
Okay, so this is loaded with healthy fats, not even wilted green, so tons of vitamin A. Guys, don't forget to sign up for newsletters and obviously amazing events at tastingtable.com.
Which reminds me, our biggest event of the year, Tasting Table's Lobster Rumble, happens in June, where we bring 25 lobster rolls from all over the country to New York.
What?
And you can buy a ticket, and over the course of the party, you can walk around and you taste them all, and you choose your fan favorite.
What day is that?
June 7th, and tickets are available at tastingtable.com/rumble.
I will be there. I love a lobster roll.
Excited to have you guys.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm just gonna lick the rest of this out of here, but.
And I know you love cilantro. We could have used cilantro as well instead of parsley.
It looks so pretty.
It's gorgeous.
This is so delicious.
Nice colorful crudité you got there for us, carrots.
Mm-hmm. And you can serve this with whatever raw vegetables you want, or chips, or pita, or whatever. Okay, guys. I'm gonna be busy eating all of this, but in the meantime, subscribe to our newsletter, more HBFIT TV. Leave us comments, DM us, tweet us. Don't forget to go to tastingtable.com and sign up for their newsletter so you can get all of these recipes in one place. And go to the Lobster
Rumble.
June
7, New York.
Maybe I'll be there. Maybe we can all hug and eat lobster rolls together. That'd be cute.
Lobster community, let's do it.
Thank you, Jeff, for coming today.
Thanks
This was
for having
so fun.
me. Flattering and fun.
Yeah, totally.